I have actually kind of a question for each of you, if you don't mind. I'm going to try to do it quickly because I just typing around on my phone. Is there, for Anna, is there an intrinsic association between amorous love and physical love, or what you talked about before between separation of physical and emotional? And Matt, if you're not able to gain sufficient meaningful factual knowledge, or are you able? Is one able to gain sufficient meaningful factual knowledge about sexuality without attaining a number of an experience rather than factual knowledge?
Right. I'm not sure I separated the emotional and the physical too much. I mean, maybe I said something a little bit when I was talking about viewing as participating. Is that what you're talking about? Or?
Well, no, I mean physical and emotional as opposed to the idea of physical love versus emotional love. So the idea of an emotion is separate from physical love. Or do you believe that they are intrinsically separated or intrinsically together? Or?
I don't think that you can have... I mean, our emotions are something that... Those are things that are really deeply involved with our bodies. They're not separate things. So I'm not sure that one can... engage in physical things without having certain kinds of affect and perhaps even attachment. But that varies with the person, and that's not for me to judge for someone else. And that varies with the situation. And certainly, I mean, you can have deep emotional attachment without any kind of physical connection in any way.
So the question is, can you gain sufficient meaningful knowledge about sexuality without experiences of it? Is that right? I think one of the aspects of sexuality that I would affirm as is that it's about the person. And in fact, sex is a particular form of knowledge of a human person. And you can gain sufficient knowledge about a person outside the realm of sexuality in order to determine whether or not you want to consummate the relationship sexually with that person. Because sex is not about performance per se, it's about a relationship of love with another human person. And so, part of the glory of the traditional Christian understanding of sexuality and of abstinence up until the point of marriage is the mutual exploration of sexuality in the freedom of a covenant of love between two people. If both people remained abstinent, like my wife and I both did, then the joy is that we get to explore these things together and we get to learn and grow together, and performance becomes less important. The only standard that I have for what great sex is that which I have with my wife. And what other standard could I possibly want? And so the joy is that I get to know this particular person, and I get to know this particular person in this particular way, and we get to share that knowledge together. And I think that's sufficient grounds to have a flourishing, healthy, joy-filled, really fun sex life.